The Milwaukee Bucks and Atlanta Hawks are set to face off in the 2021 Eastern Conference Finals. If you made a bet at the beginning of the season that these would be the two teams to come out of the East, then I hope you're enjoying that mansion in the south of France you were able to buy with your winnings, you degenerate gambler. In today's video, I'm previewing the series and giving you my prediction for who will win it and head to the NBA Finals. Bucks and Hawks, Hawks and Bucks, four-legged hoofed ruminants versus the Eagles' less cool second cousin. Can the neophyte nest makers underdog story continue? Guys, so glad you could join me on today's video. My name is Troy, and this is the Half Court Report YouTube channel. Make sure you drop a like on this video. It really helps out the channel, and it tells YouTube to show this content to more people. And if you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you have those notification bells turned on. You don't want to miss any of the videos, any of the content I have coming out. I am previewing every single playoff matchup all the way through the NBA Finals. And you know what? Thrive Fantasy wants to make sure you're still getting your fantasy fix, even through the NBA playoffs. I'm a big fan of these guys. With Thrive, you can eliminate the countless hours of research and focus on only the top-tier athletes that have the biggest impact on the game. So here's how this works. You choose your available player props to build your lineup. Each prop is assigned a fantasy value for both the over and the under based on how likely it is to hit. And if you do hit the most props and rack up the most points, you're going to win a share of the prize pool. Thrive has over $20,000 guaranteed in prizes weekly. And get this, they have awarded over $4 million in prizes. All you have to do is use promo code HCR when you sign up today, and you will receive an instant match of up to $50 on your first deposit. So download Thrive Fantasy on the App Store or the Play Store, or you can also visit their website at thrivefantasy.com. And I've got all this information in the description of this video. Definitely check them out. Let's begin with the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee, Algonquin for the good land. And yes, it is good indeed to be a Milwaukee fan right now. They swept the Miami Heat in round one. Completely dismantled them, you could say. The Brooklyn Nets posed a bit more of a problem, but in 7 epic games, Milwaukee got the job done. The Bucks are a fun team with lots of likable personalities, and after finishing with the league's best record and then failing to reach the finals each of the last 2 seasons, it's put up or shut up time for the Bucks. So let's go through this roster to see what the Hawks are going to be going up against. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 2-time MVP, glides down the court like a deer, so fitting that he plays for Milwaukee. Basically unstoppable going to the hoop. Still doesn't really scare you from deep, but he does everything else from scoring, rebounding, playmaking, being a defensive menace. I'm interested to see how he's utilized against Atlanta. Joining him in the starting lineup is Drew Holiday. He himself, one of the best defensive guards in the league. I think one of the more underrated players too. It's his first year with the Bucks. He is shooting a career high from 3, been very efficient when he's on the floor. Definite upgrade from what they had with Eric Bledsoe last year. I'm a big fan of Drew Holiday. Then you have Chris Middleton. I think the last couple of years, maybe forced to play more of a second option when I think he's closer to a third option, but I really like his game. Awesome shooter, member of the 50-40-90 club, but he brings intangibles to the game as well, the type of player that you want to have in the trenches with you. We can also talk about Brook Lopez, the Stanford man in the middle. Lopez completely reinvented his game over the last few years as a stretch big. I like what he brings as a defender for this Milwaukee team. Coming off the bench, you get Jeff Teague, Bryn Forbes, Bobby Portis, Pat Connaughton. But I'm really excited to see how PJ Tucker does in this series. Playoff-tested veteran who's going to add more versatility, more switchability to this Bucks team on defense. Interested to see how he's going to match up with the Hawks bigs like John Collins and Clint Capella. As for the Hawks, they took care of the Knicks in the first round. In round 2, they were able to overcome the suspension of Bruno Fernando in Game 7 to take out the Sixers. What an epic series that was. The Hawks are led by Rayford Young. You know him better as Trey. Ray Trey will set up his teammates, averaging almost 10 assists per game in these playoffs, going along with almost 30 points. He has really put himself in the conversation of the NBA elite during this year's playoffs. He's flanked by Bogdan Bogdanović, John Collins, Kevin Huerter, and Clint Capella, all averaging double figures so far in the playoffs. I'm eager to see the type of series Bogdanović has versus the Bucks. Remember, he was the one who got away last season. There were official reports he was signing with Milwaukee, but then that gets taken back and he ends up at Atlanta. So from being part of the Bucks to now going against them, pretty wild stuff. I also want to see what type of series Clint Capella is going to have. He won't be facing Joel Embiid this round, so it would not be inconceivable for him to have one of his monster 20-point, 20-rebound games at some point. Not to take anything away from Brook Lopez, of course, but the Hawks are going to be hoping that Trae Young is throwing so many lobs to his big man that Ice Trae may need an ice pack for his shoulder. So who's the pick? Milwaukee's game plan will be slowing down Trae Young, and then they're going to slow down Trae Young a little bit more. I expect to see Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton all spending copious amounts of time guarding Young and making Atlanta beat them with their supporting players. Very similar to Kevin Huerter's almost 30-point game against the Sixers in Game 7. And the Hawks also have two sleeping giants in Danilo Gallinari and Lou Williams. I think with their veteran experience and playoff resumes, they are primed to go off at any time and have big games. But this series really all comes down to how well Milwaukee executes while also dealing with the size Atlanta brings to the floor. Milwaukee's defense must also be prepared for these resilient Hawks who have shown time and time again in these playoffs that they can win grinded-out games and can also have come-from-behind victories. They're young, but they're very dangerous. Still, when it's all said and done, I'm going with the team with more experience over the neophyte nest makers. If the Bucks can take out KD, Kyrie, and James Harden, then Rayford Young will pose much less of a threat, in my opinion. My prediction is that the Bucks win in 5 games and Atlanta gains valuable experience for the years ahead. Hey, I need you to let me know in the comments who you have winning this series. Drop your predictions down below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like to help support the channel, and make sure you are subbed up for new NBA videos several times a week. Make sure to check out the boxes on the screen for more NBA content just like this. My name is Troy. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time on the Half Court Report.